Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, WWE goes nuclear.
Another AEW talent has been pulled from GCW.
Ray Fenix situation gets even more complicated.
And the Costco guys are all elite. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
So yes, indeed, WWE Raw has gone nuclear.
Oh.
Triple H at gorilla position was caught playing Red Alert 2 Yuri's Revenge.
Just playing with some uranium or something, I don't know.
Yeah, just throwing it about, Homer Simpson style. We're, of course, talking about this New Day segment.
Boo!
Boo! Now, there's a lot of stuff going on with this. There's a lot to unpack with this. We'll just run through the stuff that happened on the show first of all. But it began, Kathy Kelly interviewing Xavier and Kofi, obviously. Kicked Big E out last week. They were really assholes and they are really bad guys. And I hope that their next poo is a porcupine.
What was the thing Cody said? You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, rotten scoundrels. How dare you? But yeah, they were getting interviewed backstage. There was a bunch of New Day sucks chants. They were really dismissive of Kathy, and then they were like, hey, let's go to the ring. So they did that. Woods took a camera from a cameraman.
Poor Stu, catching strays. So he's John Cena's mate.
Stu's always catching strays, man. But they walked out of the ring. Woods had the camera because they weren't filming the show already. I love that.
It was fun to get like a POV of being hated by the WWE universe.
Yeah, it was silly and I enjoyed it. They put the camera down, they got in the ring, and they did the gimmick where it's too loud and two boos and two cheers and not cheers, the opposite of cheers. There's too much noise for them to speak was basically.
After 10 years of positivity, this is what you give us.
Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 minutes and there was New Day sucks chants. They were like, when people chatted for Big E, they were like, we didn't even do anything. And then we're like, we could have hit his, hit his skull with a sledgehammer.
It ended his life, basically.
Yeah, we could have ran him over or something and killed him.
With bleach. That's popular over there, isn't it?
It is. We didn't do anything.
Twice with Orange Cassidy.
I know. It's like let's pour this bleach down his neck. It's a bit rude.
That's a crime.
Stop trying to kill people in wrestling shows, wrestling companies. But yeah, Kofi might have kept going on. He sledgehammers cheers, but they stopped. They left the ring. They were furious as they got out. There was chance for Big E. They were getting drowned out. And eventually they were like, nah, see you later. This is enough.
Can't be bothered.
This is enough. So, all right. So there's a fair bit to unpack with this segment, right? This was extremely effective.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? This was extremely effective. They looked like assholes. Even little touches like Woods totally unnecessarily stealing the camera and stuff and taking it down the ring. Like, and their reactions, we didn't even do anything. It's like perfect heel stuff because yes you did, you bad guys. Yeah,
it's not as bad as the cliche. Each and every one of you did this. They were just like, what?
Yeah.
Right? You really reacting like this just because we decided that Big E was pointless? And he's not.
It comes on the back of one of the best segments of the year last year. I think that this is one of the best storylines WWE has going at the moment. I think it has the potential to be. I mean, it's December, so it's only been running for a little while.
It's really screwed up our list for the end of the year.
Yeah, it kind of has. It kind of has. So it's in quite an awkward position for me to go best of the year or best of next year because it kind of straddles both. But like, if it rolls until WrestleMania, I think it has feud of the year's story of the year potential. I think it's great, and it's a really interesting dynamic that they've taken. It's not just Kofi turning on Woods or whatever, or Woods turning on Kofi. It's them turning on the guy with the broken neck who had a very, very scary health situation and continues to do so. I'm going to say something that a lot of people won't want to hear. Mm-hmm. They were sweetening this segment, definitely.
Yes.
There was a... I don't know, like, I'm sure in the arena it was very loud, right? I'm sure in the arena. But there was a point where it was, we want Biggie. Not a person was clapping in the building. So clearly, there's a fair bit of sweetening going on.
Yeah.
It's up to you to decide whether or not that impacts your enjoyment. If it doesn't, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares at the end of the day? If it does, then it's just something to analyse.
I think I don't care when it's on top of an already heated crowd reaction like this. I think when it's like someone who, like, whatever company it is, we want them to get heat and people are just like that.
Yeah.
Like, It's booed up loud. And he's like, well, I can see that's not happening. You could see they were getting a reaction from the crowd. They were just trying to boost it. It's the Dominic Mysterio effect, isn't it? I think, when he first started doing that thing of like, I can't even get my bloody promo out because you boo me so loud. They weren't that loud, and then in the coming weeks, it's like they'd learned, okay, this is what they want. This is the level we need to get to. Just shut this asshole up. And then I think there was a lot less of like audio sweetening. But yeah, definitely. I think first week of this, they want to encourage more people in all the towns that they go to from now to do this kind of thing. So I think the crowd were booing them in Kansas. I think they were last night.
I'm not sure.
Wichita, possibly.
Dorothy was raging,
something like that,
furious.
But yeah, I couldn't care less as long as it's not really overtly like, I mean, there's 4 people there and you've got the noise of 20,000 or whatever.
Yeah, like the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
And with Dom, it kind of became part of the fun.
Yeah.
Like, with Dom, it's almost a bit to jeer him. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Because he's such a weird asshole. Like, it's fun to go, piss off, mate. And everyone got into it and all that stuff. Look, me personally, right, I'm not a fan of crowd sweetening. I think that the purpose of the art form is to get a reaction from people. So if you're doing that artificially, to me, that's subverting it, and I'm not into it. Did it hamper my enjoyment of last night's segment? Maybe like 10%. So I've still got 90% sitting there. At the end of the day, it's up to you to decide if this stuff matters to you. I would imagine that most people watching this video don't care.
Yeah.
So fair enough. But like, we can't sit here on the video where we try to provide insight to you and ignore it. So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, great segment nonetheless.
You can tell where our allegiances lie.
He is. Does this say he's got a... There's a speaker on the back.
Let's hear one of his famous catchphrases, actually. Go on, Biggie. You all love it when he says that.
His battery ran out.
Anyway, let's switch over to AEW now, and more stuff with regards to AEW and GCW, potentially, allegedly, let's say. Continue on from AEW's reaction to Effie's comments a while or so back. Now another AEW talent has been removed from GCW shows. Willie Mack was set to appear next weekend in GCW, but yes, the company is under the impression, according to Fightful, this is some more great reporting from them, that it is down to Effie's comments that he's been pulled from the show. He is under AEW contract. Also, AR Fox was visiting GCW over the weekend and was told not to appear on camera. Now, Fightful themselves have said some people have claimed that Mac wasn't pulled by AEW, but another contact, they say, claimed talent relations encouraged Mac to not take the booking. It's just really ugly, this now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And fair play, Sean, I think he deleted the tweets highlighting this story and stuff while more information is gathered. Obviously, we've just had the Ricky Starks situation, which is a bit more public because he's a higher profile figure in AEW than Willie Mack, who competes primarily on Ring of Honor. But I've liked Willie Mack for about 15 years. I think he's awesome. So the losers are the talent here.
Yeah.
Ricky's lost bookings. Willie has lost a booking here, presumably. So it sucks for them.
Hopefully AEW's compensated them. I don't know if that's even a thing.
Who knows? At the end of the day, I've seen Effie's follow-up. I think he spoke to bodyslam.net and maybe on his pod as well, where he's kind of doubled down a little bit. I think that I can see why Tony Khan, if you make a joke about his dad paying him to stay away, I can see why he would be like, screw you, right? I can understand why he wouldn't want to do business. Effie says he's not a representative of GCW. You're one of the most well-known stars of that promotion. Yes, your views are your own, but when you're speaking and when you use terms like he referred to GCW as we a couple of times, he did correct himself, but you are a representative of that. When
I hear Effie, I think WCW? That as well. But also GCW.
Yeah, and if we go on Twitter and say some stuff, we can say we're not representing Future or WhatCulture, but we are.
We are.
People make that association whether you say it or not.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, look, I've always thought that Effie was a pretty smart guy. I enjoy listening to his thoughts. I love him slagging off CM Punk, and I'm a big CM Punk guy.
Yeah.
But no, he's always struck me as a really smart guy, a good self-marketer who gets over, and I respect that. I think he's done a really silly thing here.
Yes.
And it's coming back to bite him and GCW in the ass.
Yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, just on that point about Tony Khan and his reaction to this, I'd say make up your own mind on it, because I think it's very easy to be like, what's everyone else, stick your finger in the air and see which way the wind's going. Some people that are saying right now, I can't believe he's done that to GCW and to these wrestlers, taking these bookings away. I guarantee you, Andy Murray, dollars to donuts, or whatever the phrase is, if he'd done nothing about it, they'd have gone, he's just letting them say anything and still getting, you can't win in certain scenarios. I think it's the right decision. I just think it's really poor for everyone involved.
Yeah, it sucks. Look, if you insulted my mother and you want me to work with your company, I'd say no as well. And you can say it's a pretty mild joke or whatever, I'll pay them to stay away. But that's in the eye of the beholder. You can call Tony Khan soft. I don't care. It's nonsense. It's up to him to decide if that's something worth taking offense to. You person judging this situation are not the person who was on the other end of all that. So, hey, look, he could have said worse, but at the end of the day, I would probably say, nah, screw you, man. Leave me alone.
Just on that, if you mess with Mrs. Murray, you got to deal with me as well.
You mess with the bulls, you get the horns. Roosh. Love Roosh.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
I'm dealing with some issues,
yes,
hope
family.
everything's all right.
That's right. We spoke about that yesterday. Let's speak about Ray Fenix, who's got some problems too.
Oh, God.
Jesus, what's going on here?
Isn't it?
Right, so he tweeted yesterday saying, it was along the lines of, I needed a doctor and you ignored me for months, alluding to you being AEW. He tweeted previously alleging inhumane treatment. It's pretty clear that there is something here that not everyone knows the full story of. Has that stopped people taking sides and either passionately defending the wrestler or the company? No, it hasn't.
Should I let all the details come out on this? No, I don't think I will.
I mean, all we've got is a couple of vague tweets so far, but hey-ho, apparently that's enough to have a fully formed opinion.
Yeah.
Fightful asked for a comment on this from AEW. They asked via message and in person at the All In On sale event yesterday.
More on that in a second.
Indeed. They were told that AEW wasn't going to comment on the matter. It's a medical issue. An additional source indicated that they couldn't comment on medical claims either way. A bunch of people in AEW were surprised by the tweets Fenix has made. One said there had long been some communication issues, but hadn't heard of anything that would be considered inhumane, although they hadn't spoken to Fenix about it. Another heard that Fenix took issue, I'll just read this one, took issue with a doctor who hadn't cleared him at one point. Well, context on that wasn't exactly complete. They're working for more details. Another source who said they were familiar with the matter said that the claims were untrue and that they thought word of AEW not being upset by the fake WWE news was somebody trying to babyface themselves in the situation. So right now, Fenix's status is up in the air. People in AEW indicated last week, apparently, that AEW and Tony Khan might actually give Ray his release, which is the contentious issue here. But since then, there's been no update. This was last week. One of the sources has indicated they believe almost any outcome sets an unfortunate precedent.
This is what I was about to say, because I'm not going to sit here and speculate on a health issue that I have no idea about, whether Ray was poorly treated or whether there's just cross wires or whether AEW are completely scot-free. And there's no point in me speculating on it because we don't know the facts yet. But what I will say is, I was gonna sit here and say, do you know what? Maybe it's best if just they shake hands and they go separate ways, and boom, Ray Fenix is released today, for example.
Yeah.
However, you have a lot of people in that company who are a little bit frustrated. If they see that, then they'll go, oh, cool, so that's the way to get out of my contract then.
Yeah.
I'll just kick up a big fuss, make up some bollocks, and just for the PR way of it, AEW will say, you know what, do you want your release? I think it is a dangerous precedent to be set there.
I agree with Michael Sidgwick. I think that AEW should do the Eric Bischoff thing. I think that they clearly have some people who are unhappy on that roster. In my view, there's no use keeping unhappy people around because that unhappiness will spread and it will cause wider problems. I think it would be a good idea for Tony Khan to say, would anybody who is unhappy like their release early from their deal come and talk to me? We'll do it on a case-by-case basis because obviously you're probably going to try and convince John Moxley to stay if he's
Yes.
unhappy, for example. But
He's very grumpy on television.
he's so grumpy.
Trying to kill people with bleach, John. Cheer up, mate. It's nearly Christmas.
I think that would solve a lot of problems, and it would be good for guys like Ricky and Ray, who
I agree.
seem to want to be elsewhere.
Quick question.
Yeah.
You know, you said they reached out to AW for comment, and they said, oh, you know, it's a medical thing, we're not going to comment on it. If you reach out to a company for comment and they just say the word bum, do we have to report it? Like, we reached out to AW for comment and they said bum.
Bum?
So, I don't know, take with that.
Pardon? Remember Gordon Strachan? Gordon, a quick word? Velocity. Nice.
Yeah.
Legend.
Right, better news for AEW. The Costco guys are all elite. Boom! Yeah, really good news. Regarding Big Boom AJ's recovery as well, obviously. He worked QT Marshall with a broken foot? Yeah.
Machine.
At Full Gear on 0 Hour, and got a great deal of plaudits quite rightly for it. And unfortunately, the broken foot has taken him out of action. But as Andy mentioned, the All in Texas Countdown to One sale event that was going on yesterday, he gave an update saying he hopes to return to the ring next month. His cast is going to be removed in 2 weeks. He'll be back 4 weeks after that, so turn of the year basically. We could hopefully see him back working for the for the world title against John Moxley at Revolution, maybe. But he said, this cast will be up in about 2 weeks. I'll be back in about 4 weeks. We'll see everyone at the Hammerstein Ballroom. That's coming up later on this month, of course. We're going to head up there after that, a few more shows along the way, and then, yes, absolutely, Texas AJ Big Justice will be here at All In, and we're coming to bring the boom! He said it again. He said the thing.
He did it.
Yeah, so he's main event in All In, so that's going to sell out, or if it hasn't already. But I have a lot of fun with Big Justice, and obviously the Rizzler.
Yep, his latest rap is something else.
And Big Boom AJ, who I still think they can get a use out of them. Like, they're very, however you feel about them, if you're an old curmudgeon like me going, I don't know what a TikTok is, you can't deny that they're very, very popular on that platform, and it's an attempt, at least, from AEW to get more eyes on their product. You can't argue.
Yeah, for sure. Big Justice explicitly said yesterday that they are all elite as well, so there you go.
That's so cool.
Graphic coming soon, I assume. What can we say that's not already been said? Look, I'm 37. I'm not watching their videos on TikTok.
No.
It's not for me. It's not for me. I'm a middle-aged man, and I'm grumpy, and like older mentally than I am physically, if you can even believe that. But I think that AJ, he takes this very seriously, extremely seriously.
Yes.
The promos leading up to it were very good. He mentioned the
all over media,
Yeah, the date of the show, the location, his opponent, his finisher. He got himself over.
It's better than some wrestlers.
Classic wrestling stuff. And the match itself was one of the most invigorating of the year.
Just simple stuff on it.
Simple stuff, and it got the best reactions of the night. I honestly think a lot of wrestlers in this era of maximalism, where every acclaimed match has 200 moves in it, could look at that match and go, you mean we just kind of have to do the simple things and fully commit to the bit?
Yep.
It's, look, pro wrestling at its heart, that's what it's always been.
Yeah.
And there's a room for that classic 70s style in today's thing. It helps that QT was like, I will just make myself look like an asshole. He's so good at that. I do think that AJ needs to be booked against people who AJ's committed to being an old school babyface. It needs people who are all in on being weasel heels for it to work. But you can absolutely get 2 or 3 fun matches out of this guy a year, and I will watch every single one of them.
I was there for Simon Miller versus Joe Hendry for TNA a while back, and it was a show that had people like Will Ospreay in it that looked amazing, and it was just inexplicably, Simon Miller's a bad guy, Joe Hendry's a good guy, let's hope the good guy triumphs over the bad. But it's simple.
Goodies and baddies.
I did a Costco guys quiz on WrestleCulture. Do you want one of the questions?
Yeah, go on.
And you helped me with some of the questions, actually, with the slice of cheese being thrown at the Rizzler's head. But question here. Big Boom AJ first found fame on TikTok as which character? Hello?
Misfits are playing on my phone somehow. Sorry.
Big Boom AJ first found fame on TikTok as which character? Was it?
I know the answer.
Big John Justice, Rowdy Rancher Randy, Billy Big Bollocks, or Mortgage Muscles?
Who's Mortgage Muscles?
Correct.
Big Bollocks Billy. Triple B, brother.
Triple B.
Triple B Records. There you go.
I'll tell you what else is setting records, Andy.
This video right here.
Hey?
It's the best video ever. Won the Academy Award. Oh my God.
Give it a click.
Click it now, Ricky Bobby. See you later. Bye.